Hi everyone, this is Steve with your latest Hurricane Tracker video update. Well, we have a few things we wanted to discuss with you today. First, we're going to look at a small low pressure area off the North Carolina coastline, and then we're going to take a look at a couple of systems that have the potential of developing over the next few days in the Eastern Pacific. And then looking down the road in the Atlantic, the GFS American model has been consistent with developing a low pressure area in the Western Caribbean Sea in about a week to 10 days from now. We'll take a look at a few different scenarios that model has been showing us. So hope you stick around for a few minutes and let's take a look at the tropics. First of all, we have a small weak low pressure area here just off the southeastern North Carolina coastline. If we zoom in, you'll notice there's really no chance of development according to the National Hurricane Center. 0% chance of development. This low is expected to move northward over North Carolina today. So this is going to bring likely some rainfall and some gusty winds as it moves north here across eastern North Carolina through this afternoon and evening. In fact, if we take a look at the satellite loop here, let's put this in motion. And as you can tell, there's really no really defined area of low pressure. If there is a weak low pressure, it's down here in this area somewhere. And again, this is going to be tracking towards the north and the northeast. So here in North Carolina, you can mainly, eastern North Carolina, just expect some gusty rains and winds. Here's the latest radar loop out of Morehead City, North Carolina. And put this into motion. You can see we have some rain bands, nothing too strong. But I would say if you live here east of Raleigh today, expect some off and on scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm here and there. And then maybe some breezy winds, 15 to 20 miles per hour here, maybe east of Morehead City up through Cape Hatteras, but nothing really of any major significance here with this weak low pressure area. As we focus our attention over to the Eastern Pacific Basin, we are watching two systems for the potential of development. We have Invest 94E here in the Eastern Pacific as well as Invest 95E. Invest 94E is becoming a little better organized. It does have a 60% chance of development, and Invest 95E is in the medium category with a 30% chance of development. And I'm going to go ahead and run the satellite loop here, and you can see how especially the system off to the east, 94E, is becoming a little better organized. And I'll bring my pen back up here. So you can see here is 94E and then 95E, a much smaller system compared to its brother off to the east. But we do think this system here on the eastern side of the basin, 94E, is going to become the first system to develop. The next name on the list is Cosme. And then if the second system gets going, that name would be Dahlia. And excuse me if I'm not pronouncing those correctly. I'm doing my best there. Let's take a look at the GFS forecast model for the Eastern Pacific Basin. And you can see it's going to develop the system off to the east, 94E, pretty quickly into a very strong tropical storm, if not a Category 1, maybe Category 2 hurricane. And this system is forecasted right now by the GFS to move off slowly to the northwest and out over cooler waters as we get into the next several days. And that, of course, would let the system weaken into a remnant low pressure area. But what we can mainly just expect here along the southern Baja Peninsula, maybe some increased wave activity and some rip currents as this system passes by to the southwest as we get into about probably June 27th, June 28th, that time frame. The other system we can see, it does end up developing 95E. Here the smaller system off to the west of the larger disturbance. Put this into motion one more time. So here's the second system. And as you can see, it starts getting its act together here in the next 2-3 days. And that also looks like it has the potential to become a fairly organized system. It is going to get rather close to the first system that's developing, so we'll have to see how that impacts its development. But the good news is with these two systems is there's going to be no threat at all for a landfall to the Mexican coastline. Now, if you've been following us here on the Hurricane Tracker app over the last few days, you probably have seen we've mentioned that the GFS model, which is our best medium to long range model, has been showing some development here in the southwestern Caribbean Sea. We're going to first start with its run from yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to highlight a few things to notice. You'll see this low pressure area here that it starts to develop on June 29th. And what it's going to do, it's going to move the system off to the northwest and then to the north and then up towards the central Gulf Coast in response to a trough of low pressure area, which would be diving south over the mid-Atlantic states, which would help to drive this system northward. So let me put this into motion and we can watch what this model yesterday afternoon was wanting to do with it. See, it develops it into a likely tropical storm, probably a strong tropical storm. And then it gets caught up in this trough and gets pushed off to the northeast. Now the next model run, which was yesterday evening, also is developing a low pressure area down in the same area here in the southwestern Caribbean Sea. And this time it wants to push it westward, and it's not showing as strong of a trough up here in the middle part of the United States, showing more ridging with high pressure there. So let's put this into motion. This next model run brings it south over the Yucatan, never really gets that strong. It just kind of buries it in the Yucatan Peninsula, and it just kind of fizzles out into a remnant low pressure area. And the next model run, which was from this morning, here we go, another low pressure area. So the consistency is it's wanting to develop a low pressure area, but it has not been consistent as to where it's going to take it if it does develop. So let's put this morning's model run into motion. Kind of slowly develops it, brings it here over the southern Yucatan Peninsula as a likely tropical depression here on, let's see, about June 29th and onward. And then just kind of moves it over the southern Bay of Campeche, much like we just saw with Tropical Storm Barry. And you can see it's building in this ridge of high pressure here off to its north and east. And there's not as much troughing. So instead of bringing the storm to the north, as it did yesterday and a few model runs before that, it's now wanting to bring whatever develops off to the west. So that would be good news for the northern U.S. Gulf coastline and western Florida. But maybe a second round of tropical activity here along the Mexican Gulf coastline. So most importantly, what we take out of this is the GFS is showing development, but it's inconsistent as to the upper level features and where it would move this. Our other medium range model, the European, the ECMWF, is currently not showing any development. We'll let you know if that does come on board. Wanted to let everybody know we do have a new feature over at our brand new web app at hertracker.com called our Model Watch product. Every morning we take a snapshot of the top 3 models and we'll put a little write-up and development forecast and some maps just to kind of show you what the models are showing as far as their latest outlooks over the next 1 to 2 weeks. So if you're someone who's into the models and you want to keep up to date with them, go over to www.hertracker.com and sign up for that product. This is a web app. You can access it in any browser on any mobile device, any tablet, any computer, any smartphone, and it's of course filled with great activity on the tropics and as far as the models and current storms. We'll be back with another video update as conditions warrant, and we'll keep you updated on that system the GFS keeps trying to develop. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a great weekend.